powerful cartel leader who has been killed.
The Mexican army says it has killed the leader of the country's most powerful drug cartel.
Most violent and fastest growing drug organizations in recent times.
This is Talk Maniac. For many people around the world, the word Mexico instantly brings up cartels, drug lords, and violence. But how did Mexico, a country with $1 trillion economy, global manufacturing power, and 130 million citizens, become globally labeled as a narco-state? And how did figures like Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, known as El Mencho, rise to control one of the most feared criminal organizations in the world? To understand this, we need to look beyond headlines. Mexico shares a massive border with the United States, the largest illegal drug market on Earth. In the 1980s and 90s, Colombian cartels dominated cocaine production, but when U.S. pressure disrupted Caribbean routes, trafficking shifted west. Mexico became the land bridge. At first, Mexican groups were transporters, but when Colombian power declined, they took control of distribution. That shift turned them from middlemen into owners of the supply chain. By the 2000s, Mexican criminal groups evolved into corporate-style organizations controlling production, protection, and distribution. Two names reshaped the landscape: Sinaloa Cartel and Jalisco New Generation Cartel, or CJNG. Sinaloa built influence through alliances and corruption. CJNG, under El Mencho, expanded aggressively with open displays of force. It seized ports, border routes, and industrial zones. It used military-grade weapons and armored vehicles. The biggest transformation came with synthetic drugs. Fentanyl changed everything. Unlike heroin or cocaine, it doesn't require farms. It requires chemicals and labs. Small shipments can generate massive profits. CJNG became a major player in fentanyl production, feeding U.S. demand. Revenue exploded. So did firepower. Cartels began to look less like gangs and more like private armies. In 2006, President Felipe Calderón launched a full military campaign against cartels. The strategy targeted kingpins. Many were captured or killed, but instead of ending violence, cartels fractured into smaller groups. Competition intensified, and homicide rates surged. Removing leaders without rebuilding institutions created power vacuums. International media focuses on violent gun battles, burning vehicles, mass arrests. But you know, Mexico is also a top global auto exporter, a key United States trade partner, and one of Latin America's largest economies. The drug trade is not Mexico alone. It's fueled by United States drug demand, global chemical supply chains, weapons smuggled south, and international money laundering. Mexico became the battlefield of a global market. When El Mencho was killed, many expected CJNG to collapse. Instead, retaliation followed. Because honestly, cartels are networks, not just individuals. They have financial systems, regional commanders, and international links. Eliminating one leader weakens structure, but it does not erase demand. Can Mexico clear its name? Yes, but not through arrests alone. Real change requires stronger judicial systems, anti-corruption reform, economic opportunity in vulnerable regions, smarter intelligence-driven policing, and international cooperation addressing both supply and demand. History shows organized crime can be reduced, but it takes decades of consistent reform. Mexico is not defined by cartels. Cartels grew because of geography, demand, and institutional weakness. The real issue is global, and until global demand declines, supply will always adapt. This is Talk Maniac. If you want more deep structured analysis on global power, crime, and geopolitics, stay with us.